Hello everybody, this is Milagros from Binah Tarot, and I am going to be doing the tarot scopes for the 12 zodiac signs for the year of 2018. You can check your ascendant and your moon sign since it is just a general reading, and I am going to keep doing the monthly videos in regards to love. Let's begin. Alright, so these are the decks I'm going to be using for this month's readings. These are some of my favorite decks. I really cannot include all of them because it would be just too much. This is one of my two favorite decks ever. My Kingdom Within Tarot deck by Juno, Lucina and Shannon ThornFeather. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. This is my go-to deck for readings for clients. I'm also going to do a review on this one. I am pretty sure that it is not so widely known and many people could benefit from using it. As for Lenormand, for the more practical matters, we have Lenormand, and this is also one of my favorite decks. It's quite a recent one, and I really love it. I have it in two sizes. The author of this deck is Melanie. She's lovely. She has made it so easy for people to connect to the deck because she includes keywords, and it's just amazing to have it also in a small size so that it can fit the whole reading. I'm going to be doing a review on this one too. And then for the more love-oriented questions, we have the Lover's Path Tarot. I do have to mention the author of the Lover's Path Tarot deck, and it's Kris Waldherr. I hope I'm pronouncing it right again. And then we have the Iris deck, which is an oracle deck. It's not a tarot deck. It is amazing. It has 78 cards. The imagery, again, might not apply to everybody, but the message is very good. It's also quite accurate, and it's a great deck to give advice. The author is Mary Elizabeth Evans. So I'm going to be using this one to make a wheel of the year. All the months I will pull one card per month in a circle fashion. Then I'm going to pull by trimesters with these two decks. This one to focus in more financial work-related matters. And this one to focusing more, again, by trimesters, to focus into the more emotional side of the reading. Worry not, though, because I will keep uploading my love readings for every month. So if you want more information into the emotional side of the readings, then you can keep watching the monthly ones. This one will just give some general image of how the next year will go. As the Iris deck, I will be pulling one card that will connect to the card of the year, and it will give you an advice, like an advice of what to focus on. Taurus, this is your reading for 2018, and we are going to go, as we were saying, by months, beginning from January and ending in December here, and then we are going by trimesters, giving some more extra information on how the year will go. The first card we have is the Ace of Pentacles, the power of Earth, as we can see on the card. And this has to do with new job opportunities. It might have to do with new projects, buying new property. It has to do with material things more than emotional things. So in this case, I think that you want to focus your attention in the beginning of the year in starting all over new, in starting a new year with new information, with new inspiration of some sort, in order to make things work, in order to do things. You are a very practical sign, so you want to see results, and this, the month of January will be focused on achieving that results. If it has to do with relationships, then it has to do with something beginning. It has to do with initial energies, as we have an ace. The month of February, we have Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords, well, actually throughout the reading, we have several cards that are connected to the swords. So this is going to be an interesting year in regards to having to explore maybe new territory, new waters. And it's going to be very important how your reaction it is to this. It might be a challenging year for you, Taurus, I'm not going to lie, but you can get prepared. You are prepared, you are very tough, and you are strong. So you can definitely be up for the challenge. As the month of February, as we were saying, we have the Five of Swords that has to do with longing, as we see in the picture. It might have to do with you missing somebody from your family, probably going away for a trip, you going away maybe on a trip. Maybe there is some distance from a person that used to be in your life or that is in your life. Maybe you need or you feel that you have to take distance from something or from somebody. It can also be about a job or a project. It might have to do with you probably abandoning the idea of this project, or having to abandon some other things, or giving up or sacrificing, let's say, other things in order to make this work opportunity plausible. We have, it's an energy, this card tells you in a way to be prepared emotionally, because the time is not going to be very easy, but you can definitely have, I mean, it is just a period, like the fives. It speaks just about a transition. So it's going to be a transition towards something else, and you might need to take some decisions during the month of February. During the month of March, I have the King of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles has to do with time, as we can see here. It's Father Time, Capitalist, Authority, Destroyer. He's a man coming in a turtle, as we can see, and it might mean that you are a bit disappointed because you might have certain targets in mind or certain deadlines in mind, and the things might not or will not be going so swiftly during the month of March, and you will have to adjust to timing, to different timings than what you have in mind. This card also has to do with institutions. So whether it might be you having to sort out some paperwork or submitting some paperwork to an institution such as university, school, academy, probably your work. It might have to do with the institution of the family as well. This card can represent you, because it's a King of Pentacles and you are into the pentacle energy of Earth. So this tells me that you, during this month, might have to take the things in your own hands and define and make some decisions and gather up your resources. Be wise about the resources that you have. Have in mind that sometimes things are not going to happen as fast as we want, and we need to take a more practical approach. So March is all about practicality. In regards to April, we have the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords has to do, well, it is another challenging card, and it has to do with an end. It has to do, as we can see here, with a person that has been pinned, pierced, let's say, by swords, and it's, you know, it's more than the person can take it. There is a point in which you reach bottom, and you decide to cut or to let die some habits, it might be anything. It might be people, it might be a work, it might be a situation itself. During this month, during the month of April, it is all about cutting off the things that make us feel tired, that make us feel depressed, that make us feel betrayed. It might have to you cutting away a person from your life because this person might not be precisely trustworthy. And it has to do with also making a decision to take a step aside. As I can see, on the next month we have the Nine of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles speaks about inopportunity, but it also speaks about communication. So this card tells me that during this month, during the month of May, you will have to make a fine-tune into your communications with the people, with the world, with your environment. You will need to find the right time. It has to do about saying the things in the right time. You might have some things to say. You have gathered certain things to say throughout the year, and you will be wanting to take them out during this month. But you will have to be very, very, very smart, let's say, with the timing in which you decide to take these communications out. It might have to do with you reaching out to somebody, or somebody reaching out to you with some news, with news of some sort. It also has to do with a time that is not bad, financially speaking. So if you have had some loss, as we have been saying, this card can represent loss of some sort as well. The next month, the month of May, will be a bit better, it's looking up. But still, the tricky part of this month, it is that you will have to find the good time. You will have to find the right time to act and to speak. It's very, very important that you make the right decisions at the right time. And if you feel that you need to take a distance from a situation, from a person, from the work, from anything that is not quite healthy to you, then it might, or even if it's just a break from that situation, then during this month it's better to just keep that distance and wait for a better moment to act. So this month is all about waiting for the right time to take action. The month of June, we have the Devil card. Interesting that we have the Devil card in this position. The Devil card has to do with obsessions. It has to do with habits that are hard to break, with people or things that we like in our life that are not necessarily very healthy. Things that we feel trapped, or situations in which we feel that we have no way out, but actually we do. I mean, if we can see, the two people there are kind of binded to this situation, but they are almost voluntarily bound to the situation. And in this case, this tells me that during this month, you might feel like you are trapped into a bad period of time, into a bad environment, into a bad relationship, and you might want to break free, but it's extremely difficult for you to do it. You feel that it's not in your hands to break free from that situation. And the truth is that the circumstances do not make it very easy for you to take a step aside, but it is ultimately in your hands. So this month, the month of June, has all to do with willpower. You will need to exercise your willpower to take a step aside. Once more, as I was saying before, don't go back to the situations that you let die in the past. Even if you feel that you miss that situations, that they are part of your routine, that it's a habit for you, it's important to break free from that situations, because they are not healthy. They are simply not healthy. Even if it's it can have to do with food or with diet. Do not go back to the things that were not healthy for you. Do not let that things take you again to a stage in which you will not feel very much in peace. As for the next month, the month of July, we have the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands has to do with apparent perfection. So at least during this month and the next month also, if we keep seeing towards August, we have two fours, and the fours speak about stability. So the fact of me, I actually see stability as a good thing in your life. It's a period in which you definitely need this stability to step on some sort of foundation. In this case, in the month of July, it will apparently seem that you have made the peace, let's say, with these elements from your past. You will have to be quite flexible, and it's a little bit difficult because you are very strong, as we were saying in the beginning of the reading, but you are also very stubborn. And especially during this month, you will have to make find some sort of common ground with the people or with the situations that have been not very favorable to you during the last months. You will need to work on a team. That's quite possible too. Like, it might have to do with you maybe not getting along with somebody at work, maybe a friend, maybe a colleague, and you will have to find some common ground with this person in order to make the things work. It is quite necessary. The message, the very, very strong message for the month of July, it is to try to keep calm, try to keep the equilibrium, the balance, and try to be a team player, trying to be to find, as I was saying, that common ground, to be part of a bigger society. Do not just isolate yourself. Sometimes you will need to work with people, and this is about working with people to get that stability, even within yourself, even just by being a little bit more wide, let's say, to widen up your mind in a way, so that you can have access and allow certain scenarios that maybe you wouldn't have thought of in the past. That is going to be very useful for you. It's going to be very, in a way, healthy for you. It is not going to solve the problems, but it is going to give you some sort of temporary resolution to it. During the next month, we have the Four of Swords. It's another four which again speaks about stability and about partnership too in this deck, as we can see here. You might need to keep this partnership going on, like if you have decided to make the peace with this person, maybe just to stop fighting with a colleague, with a boss, with a friend, with a lover, and just go through a period in which, yeah, okay, you might not feel that you are precisely happy with the outcome. You might have to extend the situation to August. It is going to give you a little more time, and I think that you will have during this month more time to think the things through, to decide whether you want to continue or not with this situation, with this partnership, with this business, with this contract, with this company, or if it is better maybe to take a step aside. It might be that you need to cut some things away from your life, but sometimes you need just more time to process the things, more time to digest the things, and maybe you will accept that in a specific time frame you are not able to do it, and it might take a little bit longer to do it. Then during this month is that you are going to make the decision whether to keep that elements in your life or to step away from that elements from your life. Maybe making a new beginning, maybe just the little period in which you rest before continuing the battle, let's say. We have the month of September, and we have the King of Swords. And the King of Swords, we have more swords cards, as we can see. Swords, swords, swords. Here we have, and the swords are the power of the mind, the power of the intellect. This is more likely, or it represents signs as Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. It might have to do with a person from one of these three zodiac signs, even a Scorpio. It might have to do with yourself changing your approach and maybe not being so patient anymore, but actually looking for the action. So I see that during this month you are going to feel more ready to take that decision, to take that action towards something different. You're going to be more outwards. The king is more outwards than the queen, that we will see later on the next month. So you will feel that after a period in which you might have been contempt in a way with how the things were working, during the month of September you will want to take action. You will want to make it clear for the people around you if you are really happy with the situation or not. You will be all about speaking your mind. You might come through a little bit too rough, so be aware with that, be aware on how you communicate the things, but you will do the best you can to take those feelings out, even if it might be a little bit difficult for you. You might need to be a little bit more tough on the people that you love or you appreciate, so that they can learn a lesson, or so that they can respect you or see you in a different light. And it might be a little bit more complicated than you feel it is. The next month we have October, we have the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords, it's quite similar in a way in the matter of energy. It's also a person who is very much straightforward. It's a person that, as you can see on the picture too, she's looking to somebody in her past. So again, it's a year, it's throughout the months I see a pattern of reevaluation, of looking backwards, looking to the people in our past. Try not to hold grudges against the people in your past. Try to see them as elements, as people that have passed by your life. They might have enriched it in a way, they might have probably been a challenge for you, but regardless, they have taught you important lessons. As I can see here, the work will be more inwards than outwards, because we are talking about the queen. So you will try in a way to break or to cut some strings within yourself. Now not anymore towards the people, now not anymore towards explaining the people why are you taking certain decisions, but more towards explaining yourself why you're taking that certain decisions. You will want again to be very practical, very goal-oriented, a bit ruthless. The Queen of Swords is a bit ruthless. It's a month in which you're going to feel tough. Try just to not get overly angry. I can see that you're going to feel a little bit more irritable. Just try not to tap too much on the angry energy or the upset energy, because we have the Wheel of Fortune on the month of November. So finally, the much needed change during the month of November. You're going to finally see some things changing, the wheel moving again, for better or for worse. I believe it will be for better, because we have really stressful kind of energies throughout the year, but I see that during the month of November you will have some clarity. You will finally see the things changing. You will see that you have done so much internal work, so much inner work with yourself, and you feel that probably the world didn't respond the way you were expecting it to, but during this month you will see how the world is responding to you too, that it was just a matter of time. It's a month in which you will have to take decisions that are going to affect your future in a very, very, very relevant way. So it is important that you sit down and decide how you want to handle the things from then and on. We have the Hermit card in the top, which is December month. In the December month, again, we see inner work, we see working inwards, we see again, possibly documentation, you having to take care about documents, office job, probably teaching, probably going to a counselor, or feeling that you just need some time away from the people, or even short periods of time that you need to just digest everything that has happened and to have the right state of mind after the changes of the month of November. This is a major arcana again, so it tells me that the energy around you will be also favorable for you to be able to take this little time away, unplug for a little bit, and think the things through. Again, it's not a very fun time in the sense of going to party and that, but it is a very productive time in the sense of a spiritual growth, in the sense of getting to know yourself better. I think that December will be a month in which you will be able to digest the things that have happened and see yourself in a different light and learn more about yourself. Let's go by trimesters now, and we have the first trimester. We are going to combine the Tower card with the Fox card, Lenormand combination. In this case, it might have to do with you trying maybe to work for a company, trying maybe to start freelancing instead of working for a company. But there is an institutional image here. As we were saying, the King of Pentacles has to do with institutions as well, and the Tower has to do with an institution. It can be related to work, it can be related to an education institution such as a school, university. It might have to do with the flat as well, probably relocation. That's another thing that comes to mind. Maybe you wanting to change the place where you're living. Though next to the Fox, and I see the Fox like from the tradition I learned Lenormand through, it is quite related to work or to self-employment. So it might have to do with you wanting probably to branch out and to do some freelancing or some self-work, or work by yourself besides the company that you are normally working for. It's another possibility that comes to mind, and it is the energy, the energy of the first trimester. There is something related to a company, there is something related to a building, to an institution, and there is something related to you having to be quite resourceful, because the Fox is a very, very resourceful animal. You will need to be resourceful, you will need to learn to, I won't say stalk, but I will say examine, evaluate your surroundings, see what the surroundings are telling you, do some investigation, just be quite aware of that. The Fox too can warn you against a person within your workplace that might be a little bit dishonest in a way, or guilty of something. We see here again this card, it might have to you probably having to cut away somebody that has been disloyal in a way to you. If you feel that you have been that there is a colleague or somebody that is not being very honest towards you, then this card kind of confirms that scenario. In regards to love, in this first trimester, we have the World card, which tells me that it has to do with a period of completion. It's a major arcana, so it tells me, along with the Ace of Pentacles, that you might be wanting to complete, to make a decision, to finalize some sort of a scenario within yourself and your couple. If you are in a relationship, then maybe you want to close a cycle and go to the next one in the beginning of the year. If you are breaking up a relationship, it might have to do with you wanting to finally digest and move forward. But it also has to do with cycles that can be repetitive. Just make sure that you are not going to repeat the same cycles if they are not very healthy for you. In regards to the second trimester, we have the Ship and the Key. So this tells me that you might make a trip. Actually, this is quite literally making a trip somewhere as a solution to escape, to go away from this situation, from this Ten of Swords situation that has to do with pain, with ruin, with a difficult circumstance that you might have to go through. You might realize that you have to actually get away, along with the Nine of Pentacles. Probably you will just want to withdraw a little bit from the situation, from it all. It also suggests you to go out of the comfort zone. It has to do with motivation as well. It has to do with long distance. Probably the person or your work, or something in regards to this situation has to do with somebody who is far away, or a long distance situation itself. And you might want to find some answers in regards to that, to unlock, to have access to some of the things that you want to learn from the situation itself. But this escaping, this going away a little bit from the situation seems to be good. It doesn't mean that you have to evade the situation itself, because we have the devil here, so that's not a good idea to evade it. But if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed during this second trimester, then taking some time away, taking a short vacation, taking some time for yourself, even a couple of days, even some hours, is going to be good for you. It's going to be the healthiest solution, just stepping a little bit out of whatever feels toxic during this time. In regards to love, in the second trimester, we have the Two of Arrows, and the Two of Arrows has to do with detachment. So here I see that you will have to, another swords card. Arrows is equivalent to swords. So you might need to feel detached, or to detach yourself from the emotional situation, because it results in a painful kind of result for you. It might have to do with the other person being detached as well. Since we are talking about a general reading, that's another scenario. You might want to feel commitment from the other side, and the other side might be a little bit colder than you are expecting it to. You might also want to just keep the peace. So it is possible that you will have to deal with other issues during this trimester, and you will just want to leave the things with the partner on standby and ask for some time so that you can sort out the rest of your family or work or finance related matters, and just take some distance, not to be unfair, but just because the energy during this month is a little bit overwhelming, and you will want to keep your energy for yourself in a way, and to protect yourself in a way. At least that's the image I get from here, like self-protection, self-preservation. During the third trimester, we have the Sun card and the Cross. And the Sun card is very good, actually. When I pulled this card, I was really happy that I got it. But then with the Cross, it changes a little bit. Though the Sun is still a very, very good card, it tells me that you will find some clarity. But then with the Cross, it tells me that this clarity might come with a cost. So there is something, there is a sacrifice, there is something that you will need to sacrifice. There is a burden that you will need to leave behind, or that you will need to deal with, because it doesn't seem like a very healthy thing for you. You want to find again that clarity, that peace, you want to find that happiness, but there is a lot of pain still. There is a lot to get over in order to go past this stage. This also can mean about you finding the peace, finding the clarification, finding the warmth that you need in this time in your religion, in your faith. It also speaks about faith. The Cross card speaks about going back to faith. It might be that you need to go back to church if you are religious, or maybe talk to somebody that is related to the faith, or keeping the faith itself. It tells me, if I combine it to the next cards, that the clarity, as I was saying, that you will receive during this trimester might come with a cost, might come with you having to accept some things. You might need, or you might feel that you want to change some of the things and how they happened, but probably you will realize that it's not very simple. If we are talking about finances, this might have to do with you getting some amount of money, or feeling that you are doing well economically speaking, and then some extra burden, some fee or some payment, unexpected payment will have to come, and you will need to cover it. In regards to love, we have the Innocence card, or the Fool card, and this speaks to me about resetting in a way, beginning, getting casual, going casual. During this time, you are going to be, or to feel a bit more casual in regards to the relationships itself. You might need to do it, actually, because you will want to, after the World, this is the last card, we have the Fool. So it is like we are ending here and we are beginning again here. We pass through this stage in which we need some detachment, but then we get here. You will want to start over new in terms of feelings. You will feel a little bit of weight from other responsibilities in your life. So during this period of time, you will want to just be like a child again, or think like a child again. Not like a fool precisely, but just have in mind that you don't really need to be too tough on yourself. If you keep the things light as you're planning to do it during this time, it is actually good. But it feels like the energy, as I was saying, in regards to love, is light in a way. It's not something that will prompt you to make very important decisions, or at least if you feel prompt to make these very important decisions, or somebody's giving you an ultimatum in regards to your emotions and that, then just don't let it happen. Just take as much time as you need to take to reset yourself, reset that feelings, reset that energies, and then decide what you want to do. As for the 4th trimester, I have the Whip card and the Tree. This might have to do, it's actually quite literally about exercise. It might have to do, or warn you or suggest you to not overdo the exercise part, because I also get the Wheel of Fortune that can relate to machines, actually, to treadmills, elliptics, and so on. So if you are looking for exercise as a way out of the stress, just be careful to not overdo it. If you are not doing exercise, then these cards or this combination of cards actually suggest you to consider it. To consider the exercise as a way to neutralize a little bit of the energies or the heavy feelings that you might have from the previous month. Just try to live, to focus on your health. Whenever I see the Tree card, especially in this type of readings, the focus is on the health. Just try to focus on not repeating patterns that are not healthy for you. If you are forsaking your health and you need some sort of therapy, then this is a time in which you will have to do it, because I get the Whip that has to do with therapies, with exercises, and so on, with research as well. It also has to do with anger, so try not to get over angry. Try to see for your health. Try not to put yourself through very, very stressful situations that are not going to lead you to feeling better. Go back to nature. It also has to do with going back to nature, with connecting to a place that you feel that is comfortable for you, that is soothing for you, especially when you are feeling angry, or especially when you are feeling that you need to release that stress. In regards to love, I get the 8 of Arrows, or the 8 of Swords, the equivalent. That has to do, it's a little bit, it's kind of similar to the Devil card, but in a smaller proportion. So you might have, you might need to leave behind somebody in your life, or maybe maybe you wanted to have a relationship, maybe you weren't ready, and this is the period of time in which you are going to be thinking if the decision that you took was right or not. It also can do with the situations in which you feel trapped and you don't have actually power to go away from it, but as you can see, the person can actually escape that swords. Maybe you will feel judged. You will feel that your person is not being fair towards you. This also has to do with sleeping problems. So you might be a little bit preoccupied because you have not, maybe you did not give the focus or the right focus in the previous months to the love matters. During this time, it might be, or you might feel that you need to, that you are trying to digest it all together. But it has to do with being trapped in your own thoughts. Try not to feel trapped in your own thoughts. Try to speak. As I was saying, it's very important. All the communication part is very important. Sometimes you don't need to be so defensive in order to reach an agreement with people into your life. Sometimes you need to use words wisely, not to hurt, not to feel like you are even with somebody else, but actually to let the other person know a little bit more about you. It is not about feeling vulnerable or gaining respect by sacrificing some other things. It is about saying the right things in the right time. And this is a year in which you are going to learn that kind of lessons, to communicate in the right time, in the right way, to the right people as well. I have the Two of Pentacles as the final card that makes all the message come together, and it means successful change. We have pentacle here, we have pentacle here, we have a pentacle here, and we have the wheel that is similar to pentacle here. So this card tells me that you are going to end the year very, very different than how you began it. You are going to be a different person in the beginning of the year than in the end of the year, or at least that's how you are going to feel. You are going to feel that you went from being a bit more into the gloom, a little bit more into the blues, let's say, a little bit more stressed, preoccupied, to being more light. You are going to reach clarity throughout the year. It is a process that is going to take a little time, so you need to be patient, but there is progress. This card speaks about progress, and the next card is the Three of Pentacles that has to do with building. It might be that this project that you have in the beginning of the year might or require probably more time to get there where you want it. Maybe this new job, this new relationship. During this year, you are going to learn that sometimes timing is also very, very important, and not only the decisions that we make. The advice card is make believe, and this card tells me that sometimes you need to take risks as well. Sometimes you cannot judge from the distance. Sometimes you need to actually get involved into some matters so that you can take decisions or gain a better judgment or a wider image of how the things are going. It also speaks about not being fake, being yourself. You don't need to be somebody else. You don't need to be or to transform into somebody that you are not. You can still be yourself, and the people will see you for who you are. Also beware, this suggests you to be aware of the people that poses as something that they are not. The masks are falling during this time, and even if it's your own mask, it will fall during this time. So just the message I get is authenticity. Be as authentic as you can and see the people with different eyes, not with the external eyes, but learn to hear your intuition as well, so that you can know, so that you can feel the right or the actual intentions of the people, and if they want you to feel good or to be okay, or if maybe they are just posing to something that they are not. The same goes for you. Try to be as authentic as you can, because no lie can hold for too long, even if it feels like a way of self-protection. There is no need to be somebody else. Just be yourself, get to know yourself. This is a year of self-knowledge and self-discovery. As I was saying in the beginning of the video, this is just a general reading, and if you want to book a private consultation with me, you can always do it through the link that I am going to leave down below of the video, in which you can have access to the different types of readings that I am offering. You can also have access to the Christmas promo reading. It is only $25 to speak about a specific topic, and you can have access to this through the link that I am going to leave down below. This is going to be active till the 31st of December. Besides that, I am really near from reaching the 10,000 subscribers, and I'm really thankful to you all for sharing, liking, subscribing to my channel. I'm going to be shooting a separate video in which I'm going to be explaining the guidelines to participate in the new contest that I am going to be launching when I reach the 10,000 subscribers. So you can subscribe to my channel, you can click on the alerts so that you can receive a notification when the new video is up. And besides that, thank you so very much for liking, for sharing, for the comments, and for all the support that you have shown me since I began shooting the videos. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, a very happy new year, and I see you next month in the tarot scopes for the month of January in regards to love. Goodbye. Thanks.